Hi again, YouTubers. It's Lunatic Fringer here, and I was going to get back on my MMO topics for maybe a video or two. This may run a little long too, but right off the bat, what is an MMO? It's a massive multiplayer online game. If you have a friend that plays World of Warcraft, I'm sure you've heard of it. Plenty of crackheads out there with a huge addiction to it. Play that or have a friend that plays that, then you know what an MMO is. And there are a bunch of them. Old ones like Star Wars Galaxies that came out in 2003. And then newer ones like Warhammer Online, Star Trek Online, and I'm sorry for the pauses there. I will not be editing that out, but I just wanted to show you some boxes there so you can kind of see what it is. I will try and include some links down here after I get this up. Anyway, my main point tonight was I wanted to talk a little bit about free-to-play, often abbreviated right now as F2P, versus subscription games. And essentially all those games that I showed you, you have to go out and buy the game once they're released. And you know, today's market, we're talking about $50 easily for a release. Maybe more if you're buying something like a collector's edition, of which, you know, the gamer geeks get a little bit more out of that than a standard game. So, with that in mind, you know, everybody goes out and buys their game. All the companies are hoping you'll do that and play their game. Now, we have business models. Now, typically, the MMO of the past has always been subscription-based, and there, Boomer again, she's getting in the way. Meow. They've typically been subscription-based, and that usually runs someone like $15 a month, essentially. And, you know, our other option is the new one, the new business model, which is microtransactions, or also free-to-play. They're kind of the same thing, kind of different. There's a lot of variations going on right now. But essentially, free-to-play means everybody buys that game. Bam, they've shelled out their $50 for it. And now whenever you go to play the game each month, if you do not have a subscription, what you can do is play the game in portions. So you're not paying the $14.99 per month, but if you want to access something just beyond the tutorial, the starter level, however it works, different games are working in different ways on this, you pay out, say, $5 for access to this area, and that'll let you get so much further. Whereas someone still paying the subscription for it will have access to the entire game. Consequently, this free-to-play thing, which I still find pretty fraudulent, seems like it's taken over the industry. One of my friends commented last night, or the night before, whenever I was playing around online, that there really wasn't much money in MMOs anymore. I don't know if I believe that, because if you take a look at the subscription model, $14.99, even if you have a low subscriber base of, say, 60,000 players, and that's pretty low, or not quite successful for most of these companies, at 60,000 players, at $14.99 a month, $15, over the course of a year, you're making almost $11 million. I think it comes out to like $10,800,000. And that's just, you know, that low, and that's not even including the price of buying the game. Well, with that, you would think you can pay a developer staff and keep your servers running, your little office. You can do a lot with almost $11 million. And that's just for what we would consider a failure of a game. So if that model isn't working, I have to wonder what is wrong that they're going to this other model. And that is, I'm calling it pay as you go. Because that's really what it is. It's not really free to play. That F2P thing, I find it a complete, almost fraudulent misnomer. But you can kind of already see how those two business models work, right? I mean, if you're making 11 million off of a subscription base, whereas you're turning around and you're nickel and diming them instead, you're going to make more money with that nickel and dime thing if you've got it set up in such a way that they're going to be paying for more than a subscription, because they're buying every access to every little, level that they're playing in, or special items. And if you've played Second Life, you already kind of know how microtransactions work, because that's the whole setup of this. And really, I don't know. I'm kind of against the free-to-play model, simply because I don't think it's fair to the player. What you're doing is, essentially, while you're making more money as a business, financial sense, you're kind of like promoting something other than what I would refer to as net neutrality. And net neutrality, one person isn't supposed to be any better than the next person. And that's what we're getting with free-to-play. Essentially, you're rewarding people that have more money, rather than having all the gamers be on an equal level. Now, I wouldn't be so, angry, I guess, about this sort of business model that the MMOs are switching to, if it weren't for that fact. I mean, essentially, the player that's paying a subscription may not get all the stuff that this nickel and dime player is doing, because they can shell out the $25 for their cryptic points to go and buy, and I'm talking about Star Trek Online there, to buy this brand new fluffy new item that's supposed to be better than something that you can get in game. And they're not even supposed to be doing that. And I guess it's debatable on what some of these items are, if it really is better or if it's just a shiny to distract you. I could go on and on and on. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here, but essentially, free-to-play, or pay-as-you-go, as I like to call it, is a business model. And there's Boomer again. See? Meow. Anyway, yeah, I got a little distracted there. I guess that's really all I had to say about it, but I meant to keep this short, so I'm going to go ahead and post this now. I'm going to put some links down on the bottom here, and you can check out some of these different games, like and different companies like Turbine, Sony Online Entertainment, Blizzard, all of these different MMO companies. And in a follow-up video, I'm wanting to kind of cover co-op games versus MMO games, because to me it seems like a bunch of these games that are switching to the free-to-play model, some of them are getting to the point where I don't even consider them an MMO. They're really not. They're not an MMO. They're not at that high of a standard. And I think it's the same for a bunch of gamers. So, you've got people like Jack Emmerich, which are getting ready to produce their third title, I think, under their new business, Cryptic. And it's Neverwinter, based off the Dungeons and Dragons title. And it's really going to be a co-op game. But I'm wagering you'll still have to pay a monthly fee, or it'll be using the free-to-play model. Anyway, I've talked too long, so I'm going to cut this short. I'm working on it, guys. Links down there. Hopefully my videos get better. What did we get out of that? Not much, I guess. But I wanted to get a video up. I've got a lot to go to 500. And I really, really appreciate the views. Yeah, I guess that's all.